who is on a better path to success? And we'll tie these two teams together because they are in tandem with a certain trade, with a certain new coach that now is with both organizations. And, there's just a lot of really comparisons for this one.
Yes.
So who will have a better path to success this season and moving forward? The Las Vegas Raiders or the Seattle Seahawks? Nick?
I'm going to take the Raiders. I am preying on the demise, the downfall of the Chiefs. And then the rest of that division is obviously the Broncos and the Chargers. The Chargers are going to be a good 9-10 win team, but nothing too crazy. They're the Chargers every single year. Believe it or not, they haven't changed their name. But the Broncos could make noise. But looking at the gosh, I'm blanking, but the NFC West, right? That division is tough. It's going to be a hard one for the Seattle Seahawks to win. And I look at the moves that Seattle made. To me, it was like all lateral moves. Like and then they released kind of the core guys in Lockett and Metcalf, and then you laterally move at quarterback. To me, they're a good team, but I don't think that's going to be – I don't think they'll be a lot better this year based on the moves we've seen. Of course, now they're different strategies and vibes of the locker. Like all of that stuff can change, and they could – I mean, shoot, they can still go undefeated. Believe it or not, they haven't lost. So – but between the two, I am leaning Raiders, but I'm not like confident in that. I'm not gonna lie. What do you think?
That's a huge step. I mean, it's a huge step because if you think about last year, Vegas was 4-13. Seattle was a 10-win football team last year. I mean, they were just a game away from really a tiebreaker away from making the postseason with Geno Smith. Yeah. And if you think it's a lateral move, I mean, you have to think that they can be right back in it. Now, I don't think that some of those were lateral moves. I do think that they did take a step backwards. But I think what Ben McDonald is doing is he's trying to get the Pete Carroll out of the Seattle Seahawks organization. I mean, they changed the pictures on the wall. He's moving on from some of these leaders that was in the Pete Carroll era with Metcalf and Lockett and Geno. He's trying to make it his. So to me, I think Seattle is on the right step forward. But I do think we're going to see regression. So if we had to say the path to success, long-term, I think Seattle wins the deal. I think initially they might have a better record than Vegas because of just the amount of skill that's on there. But I do like the Raiders. What they're doing. I mean, Pete Carroll has proven that he can do what needs to be done. The ownership of Vegas seems like they're ready to spend some money. I think they're ready to finally become a contender again. You got to think they're in a right spot in the NFC West with the Chiefs eventually moving down. I mean, your Patriots dynasty finally faded at some point. They'll probably come back into fruition soon. But you got to think that the AFC West now is the time to shine for a team to step up. The Broncos just made the postseason last year. Can the Raiders be that next team and not be the Chargers? We'll see what happens. But I think Geno Smith's the right move for them. They have another high draft pick. Can they add some weapons? I'm going with the Raiders as well, although I might have bamboozled you at first thinking I was going to go to Seattle.
I thought for sure you were on Seattle.
I'm excited to see what Ben McDonald can do with this team, with his team now, right? Because there's a lot of interesting moves that need to happen, but I think that there's no doubt that if you lose the type of leadership that you had with Tyler Lockett and Geno Smith, DK Metcalf even, I mean, this offense is going to look completely different. The NFC West, the Rams are going to be nasty. I think San Francisco, no doubt, is taking a step back because of all the players they lost. But I do think there's going to be some sort of regression in this one. If I'm a betting man in this one, I think the Rams run away with the NFC West, if I had to say today. If I had to bet
that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
Raiders are who I'm going with in this or that.